Okay, this is female reproductive system. In the female reproductive system, there lies ovaries. Now, what is the role of ovary? The role of ovary is to produce egg and two hormones named as estrogen and progesterone. Now, what's the function of these two hormones? The function of these two hormones is to develop secondary sexual characteristics in females. Now, what are the secondary sexual characteristics in female? Number 1, onset of menstruation. Number 2, hair appear. Armpit and pubic region. Enlargement of breast. Okay, so these are the secondary sexual characteristics in female, and besides that it releases egg one at a time from either of the ovary. Only one egg is released from either of the ovary once in a month. And at the time of birth, 70,000 potential egg cells are present. Within the ovary, approximately 70,000 potential egg cells are present, and out of these 70,000 egg cells, only approximately 500 eggs get mature from the time of puberty till menopause. And it releases once in a month from any of the ovary in the oviduct. Now, what's the function? This is the funnel shaped structure. This is called funnel of oviduct. Now, its name is not included in your syllabus. Now, what's the function of this funnel of oviduct? Is just to catch the egg. Okay, and then what is the function of this oviduct? In the oviduct, it is the site for fertilization. What is the function of oviduct? It is the site for fertilization. Over here, the fertilization it happens, and it provides the passage for the egg. And the most important point is it is the site for fertilization. Whenever the examiner asks you that what is the function of oviduct, then always write that it is the site for fertilization, or it can connect the ovary with the uterus so that egg can pass through the oviduct to the uterus. Egg after fertilization, it can pass to the uterus. Now, this whole structure is known as uterus. Now, this is called the wall of uterus, and this is called uterine lining. Now, what is the function of this uterine lining? Over here, the implantation of embryo occur. Now, what is embryo? We will discuss it later. Implantation of embryo occur. And what is the function of this uterus? The function of the whole uterus is over here the development of fetus occur. Development of fetus, it occurs in the uterus. And what is the function of this wall of uterus? It contracts at the time of birth, causing labor pain. Okay, so what is the function of this wall of uterus? It contracts at the time of birth and it's causing labor pain. Now, This structure is known as this structure. This mouth of uterus is known as cervix. This is known as cervix. Now, what is the function of cervix? It is simply a ring of muscles. What is cervix? It is a ring of muscles, and it dilates at the time of birth. It dilates at the time of birth so that it can provide passage to the baby. Okay. Now this tube-like structure is known as vagina. This tube-like structure is known as vagina. Now what is the function of this vagina? Is to receive penis, what is the function of vagina? Is to receive penis at the time of copulation. And number 2, which is the most important function, if it is of 1 mark, then you have to write this point only. Sperm, it get deposited over here at the time of copulation. It is the site for sperm deposition at the time of copulation. Okay, and this structure is, of course, urinary bladder. This structure is urethra. This structure is ureter. Okay, now this is the side. Now this is the front view. Now this is the side view of the female reproductive system. This pink structure is known as, what is the name of this pink structure? This pink structure is ovary. This oval pink structure is known as ovary. Now arising from the ovary, there lies, not arising from the ovary, the separate structure is known as oviduct. This tube-like structure is known as oviduct. And what is the function of oviduct? It is the site for fertilization. And then this structure, this whole structure is known as uterus. This is uterus wall, and internally it is known as uterine lining. Of course, within the uterus wall there will be uterine lining where the implantation of embryo it occurs. Now what is embryo? After the fusion of egg with the sperm, after the fertilization of egg with the sperm, zygote will form, and then this zygote will divide rapidly and it will form a ball of cell which is known as embryo. Then this embryo will get implanted in the uterine lining. Okay, then this structure is known as cervix. The cervix, it dilates at the time of birth, and this structure is known as vagina, where the deposition of sperm it occurs. Okay, and then this blue structure is known as urinary bladder, and then this structure is known as urethra. This structure, which is present just in front of the urinary bladder, is known as pubic bone, where hair appear after puberty. Okay, and this structure is known as rectum, and this opening is known as anus. Okay, so this side view is also important. Okay, clear?